You want to know the secret to seeing it before the crowd, to hearing the faint tremor in the earth before the stampede begins. You think it's a formula, a set of numbers to plug into a sheet. You are wrong, dead wrong. What I will tell you is not about getting rich quick, it is about survival. It is about learning to read the tape not as a list of prices, but as the pulse of the entire market, of every hope and fear etched into the numbers by 10,000 different men. I have made and lost more fortunes than you can conceive of. I have been called a boy plunger and a wizard. I have also been broke, absolutely and completely broke, sitting in a hotel room with nothing but the clothes on my back and the taste of my own foolishness in my mouth. All of it, the millions and the misery, taught me one immutable truth. The market does not change because human nature does not change. The same greed that built the pyramids is the same greed that buys a stock at its peak. The same fear that causes a stampede in a theater is the same fear that sells a fortune for a pittance. So, you want to spot an early breakout, to get in before the move becomes obvious? Then listen. Forget what you think you know. I am not going to give you tips. I am going to give you principles. Hard-won principles, paid for in blood and gold. Secret number 1. The market must be right. Before you even look at a single stock, you must diagnose the health of the entire market. Is the general trend bullish or bearish? You must have an opinion, and it must be based on evidence, not hope. I never cared which way the market was going, only that I knew which way it was going. A rising tide lifts all boats, but a receding tide strands even the strongest ship on the shore. How do you know? You study the leading averages. You watch the action of the key industrial and railroad stocks, the lifeblood of the nation. Do they rally on good news and then hold their gains? That is strength. Do they falter and sink back on news that should propel them higher? That is weakness. It is a subtle thing. The tape does not shout, it whispers. I remember in the summer of 1924, the market had been sluggish, nervous, the newspapers were full of doubt, but I watched the tape. I saw that after every little dip, the market was able to claw its way back, and the rallies were beginning to happen on increasing volume. The big stocks were not being distributed, they were being accumulated, quietly, by those in the know. The market, as a whole, was telling me it was preparing for an upward move. That was my signal. That was the green light. Without that confirmation, any move in an individual stock is suspect. It is a soldier fighting alone, without an army. Do not bet on lone soldiers, bet on the tide of the army. Secret number 2. The line of least resistance. Once you know the market's direction, you must find the stock that is poised to move with it, but not just any stock. You are looking for the stock that has consolidated, that has built up a head of steam, that is sitting at a point where the slightest pressure will send it rocketing in the direction of the main trend. This point is what I call the pivotal point. It is the line of least resistance. A stock does not go from $10 to $100 in a straight line. It fights its way there. It advances, then it hesitates. It pulls back, it consolidates, it builds a base. Your job is to identify when it is finishing that base, when it is coiling like a spring. Look for a period of quietude. The stock has had a decent advance, then it settles into a narrow trading range. The fluctuations become very small. The volume dries up. It is as if the entire world has forgotten it exists. This is not boredom. This is tension. This is the calm before the storm. The stock is resting, gathering strength. All the weak holders have been shaken out. Those who remain are strong. They are not selling. They are waiting. Then, the first sign, an expansion of volume without a significant change in price. Someone is buying, and they are buying aggressively, but they are being met with an equal force of selling, likely from the specialists and the pools who are holding the stock down, accumulating their own positions before the move. This is a battle, and you can hear it in the tape. Secret number 3, wait for the breakout confirmation. This is where nearly every amateur fails. They see the consolidation, they feel the tension, and in their greed, their impatience, they jump in too soon. They buy during the quiet period, and they sit, while their capital is tied up in a dead stock. Then, when it finally does break out, they have no buying power left, or worse, they get shaken out by a minor dip just before the explosion. Discipline is everything. You must wait for the confirmation. You must see the stock break decisively above the upper limit of its consolidation zone. And crucially, this breakout must be accompanied by a dramatic increase in volume. The volume is the proof. It is the cannon fire that signals the army is advancing. A breakout on low volume is a false move, a trap. It means there is no real conviction, but a breakout on volume that is 50, 100% higher than the average, that is the real thing. That is the moment the line of least resistance has been breached. The stock is telling you, in no uncertain terms, that it is going higher. It is not a guess anymore. It is a fact. Your job is to have the patience to wait for that fact to be announced by the market itself. Never anticipate the move. Always wait for the market to confirm your judgment. Secret number 4. Pyramiding wisely. You have spotted the breakout. You have bought at the pivotal point. The stock is moving up, just as you said it would. Now comes the second great test, the test of your nerve. The amateur's instinct is to take a profit. A small profit feels good, it validates him. But small profits will never make a fortune. You must let your profits run. But you cannot simply buy once and hold on blindly. That is gambling. The professional approach is to pyramid. But understand this, you pyramid correctly, or you court disaster. My method was always to make my initial commitment at the pivotal point. Let's say I buy 1,000 shares. If the stock moves in my favor, I do not add more right away. I wait. I wait for the stock to advance, and then pause again to form a new, higher consolidation base. This is the market catching its breath. Once it breaks out of that new, higher base, again on heavy volume, that is my signal to add another 500 shares. Why? Because the trend has reconfirmed itself. The move is healthy. I am adding to a winning position, not averaging down on a loser. Averaging down is the surest path to the poorhouse I have ever known. It is the practice of fools who refuse to admit they are wrong. By pyramiding on successive confirmations, you are letting the market itself tell you how much to risk. If the stock surges and never looks back, you have your initial position. If it advances in a stair-step fashion, you build your position with the trend, increasing your stake only when the market proves you right again and again. This is how you build a fortune. Not with one massive, reckless bet, but with a series of intelligent, disciplined commitments to a proven trend. Secret number 5. The most important secret of all. Know when to leave. All the brilliance in the world in entering a trade means nothing if you do not know how to exit. There are 2 exits, one for taking a profit and one for admitting a mistake. First, admitting a mistake. The moment you buy a stock, you must know precisely at what point you are wrong. If you buy at a pivotal point of $50 and it breaks out to 52, but then falls back and closes below 49, the move has failed. The breakout was false. The line of least resistance was not breached. It was reinforced. You must sell immediately, without hesitation, without emotion. Taking a small loss is like paying a premium on an insurance policy. It is the cost of doing business. I have taken countless small losses. They are meaningless. They are the scratches a soldier gets in training. What kills you is the one loss you refuse to take, the stock you hold on to, hoping it will come back until a scratch becomes a mortal wound. Never, ever average down on a loss. Sell it. Get out. Preserve your capital. Your capital is your ammunition. Without it, you are out of the war. Now, for taking a profit. You have pyramided correctly. The stock has had a magnificent run. How do you know when the party is over? You watch for signs of distribution. The move becomes parabolic, vertical. The newspapers are full of stories about the stock. The shoe shine boy is giving you tips. This is the danger zone. The tape will tell you. The stock will make a new high, but on weaker volume. Then it will have a sharp, violent break. It may rally again, but it will fail to make a new high. This is the first sign of weakness. The big money is starting to sell, quietly feeding stock to the eager public. The rallies become weaker, the declines become sharper and on heavier volume. This is the reversal of the pivotal point. The line of least resistance has turned down. When you see this, you do not wait. You begin to liquidate. You sell into the strength of the rallies. You take your profit and you walk away. Do not try to sell the exact top. It is impossible. Sell when the market action tells you the trend is losing its vitality. Leave the last 10% for the other fools. These are not secrets of prediction. They are secrets of observation, of discipline. The market is a mirror, and it reflects the soul of every man who enters it. Your greed, your fear, your hope, your pride, it will show you all of them, and it will punish you for every one. I have stood atop the world. I have felt the power of moving markets, and I have known the utter desolation of being wiped out. Through it all, the tape was the only thing that told the truth. It never lied. The lies we tell ourselves are the ones that ruin us. So, study the tape. Learn to listen to its story. Cultivate patience until it becomes an ache. Exercise discipline until it is a reflex. And never forget that the goal is not to be a hero. The goal is to be a survivor. The secret is that there is no secret. There is only the relentless, unforgiving truth of the tape, and your ability to listen to it,